and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara, Briain. Joining this week are Miles Jupp, Ed Byrne and Rob Beckett, Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, what's going on here?
Cameron is saying, you cradle the pig's head, like so.
He's probably saying, and this is how I would snog Angela Merkel.
He's just gesticulating. What he doesn't realise, he's actually doing sign language for vote leave.
I thought the Brexiteers missed a trick by not calling the opposition Romanians.
That Madame Tussauds finally tracks down missing Cameron.
Possibly he's just practising the bit in his resignation speech where he strangles Boris Johnson.
Is it a nice guy just doing his best?
No, do you know what it is?
I have a suspicion that is David Cameron.
There you go. Yes, of course. Congratulations, Hugh. Yes, this is David Cameron campaigning for Britain to remain in the European Union. This week, Cameron declared that he will continue as Prime Minister regardless of the result of today's historic referendum. Have you enjoyed the last 6 weeks of the to and fro of the European referendum debate?
You know what? It makes me look forward to the time when we have to make Wimbledon funny again.
I think it's been a really bonding experience for us all, hasn't it? I think we're going to look back on this and think of it as a happy time in our nation. On a par with things like the Black Death. Isn't it a bit odd that we're even talking about it there? Because if the polls have just closed...
The only thing that's going to come to quickly is the first of the polling areas, which is Gibraltar. So Gibraltar announces before anyone does, and we're all on tenterhooks here. You're pretty much in Europe no matter what way you vote. Gibraltar, I'm afraid Spain ain't going away, right? So it doesn't matter how many armies of monkeys you train to climb a mountain and stare across at them, you're going to be there for some time, no matter what.
There's so much has been said, though, about Brexit. No one cares anymore. They've run out of people to ask. On Sky News on Monday, they were talking to Michelle off The Apprentice and Ju Sarpong. I don't care what they think.
I didn't vote at all. Last time I tried to vote, they said all you have to do is put your X in a box. Would Janet get in a box?
We're in an awkward kind of thing. It might have passed, it might not have passed, it might have gone. Might be in Europe, might be out of Europe, we don't know. Tomorrow morning it could be Brexit, and then all the bananas go back to what bananas looked like before EU made them nice. And we'll walk into Tesco, what the hell is that? And they'll go, these are what bananas are actually supposed to look like. We've been airbrushing bananas for the last 40 years because the EU told us, and we all be going, no! Give me back my bananas!
It doesn't matter what happens.
Yes, Miles, that's what we'll be doing. We'll be screwing bananas.
It's the problem. It's stuff like that that people worry. Like, there was one article I read that said if we have left the EU, we could end up with a national shortage of wine. Yeah, now everyone's engaged.
No, we're talking about... No!
Well, I've got a strategy. Like, for a start, we stop wine tasters spitting it out, because that's a waste. Unless they're going to spit it directly into my mouth, they can forget that.
Would you walk around and he fancy... No, and you're there behind it, like a baby bird going... When they regurgitate their wine.
I've got other strategies. We stop selling wine in Lidl. Poor people don't need wine, they've got cider. That's fine, that's like...
In that photo, does the other side of that mug say, deep shit?
I'll tell you, if Boris Johnson runs for Prime Minister, I'm going to run against him. We don't want that idiot with stupid hair.
Michael Gove has said he doesn't want to be leader, doesn't he? And he brilliantly said last week he doesn't want to be leader. So if whatever posters you have on your wall, don't put up one of me. That's unnecessary.
It's interesting, actually, what the poll said, because the poll said, well, can we finish the house or not? Yes, all right, you don't have to go for a couple of years. Finish the house, for God's sake.
Everyone's a bit of a hypocrite about it, because I heard a woman around my way go, well, if we vote leave, I've had enough, I'm just going to move to my place in Spain permanently.
The main thing is, though, it's been a very poisonous debate, but it's over now, and we can all be friends again, and let's never speak of Europe again. That's it. It's done. And we tried to bow on the whole thing.
Poor old June Sarpong's going to be out of work, but never mind.
In other news, what's going on here?
These are twins.
I say it's Rooney saying, shut up, you're not my real dad.
There's Rooney saying, hey, no one's noticed my beer mat collection behind us.
Is Saint Etienne the patron saint of lost causes?
Is it just two decent men trying to do their best?
Is Rooney saying to Hodgson, I've shagged your nan?
He's probably saying, I may be 103, but I've got more of my own hair than Laughing Boy hair.
And to add to our injury woes, Rooney's eyebrow is stuck in the up position.
So he had a terrible eyebrow strain in the 85th minute.
Just a bloke looking at another bloke, isn't it?
Just stop focusing on the picture. Now it sounds like it's a magic eye. Stop looking at the picture. Let's look beyond the picture.
I can see misery.
Yeah. Yes, go on. It's England in Euro 2016 who have been exciting and thrilling to watch.
The important thing is that Russia are out, which is good, which makes life... And that makes life easier for everybody else's hooligans, doesn't it?
They're too professional about it, aren't they?
Oh, but
they put too much effort in.
Do you know, all the other countries, when they said that the Russians are highly trained and they're moving through like SWAT teams and they're militarily trained, and all the 23 other countries in the Euros went, really? I never expected that, apart from Ukraine.
They were pretty well organised, but then on other didn't they use a flare in the stadium to signal when to kick off?
Yes.
It's like, what's wrong with the WhatsApp group? It's 2016.
Oh, we're
Time
kicking
to go,
off
lads.
now. And Flair is tremendously camp as well.
Yeah.
Let's go, people!
They also did that thing, didn't they? So some of the hooligans, when they attacked the English fans, shouted, apparently, because Maria Sharapova had been banned for doping, they all shouted, "This is for Maria," as they charged the England. Can you imagine England fans charging Russians going, "This is for Tim Henman"?
It's about how all the Russian hooligans are all, like, teetotal, aren't they? They're all really straight living. Yet all their athletes are off their tits. It's got the wrong way around.
They have. They've not worked this out at all.
If football supporters are fighting, there's not much the footballers can do about it. Archery supporters, very well behaved.
Any other countries you've enjoyed watching?
Wales. I'm not a football fan, but I love an underdog, right? And Wales, in this tournament, it looks like they're really putting Wales on the map, you know, because until now, other countries just thought Wales was a unit of measurement for deforestation.
Well, I live in Wales, and that is there's a pub quite near me, so I can definitely hear when Wales have scored a goal. I can't hear who they're playing against, and I'm not going to wander in and ask, but I can definitely...
I think that'd be perfect. Hello, who are you playing?
Who's on the receiving end, you old dogs?
If we could keep it down.
For your national joy, for the sake of, sleepy time.
The worst thing of watching it in the pub is, though, just because it's England, they think you can just throw beer everywhere. I hate watching a pub. It's like, oh, you're sort of thinking, oh, I'll just take 1-0, I've got new trainers on. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, watching England this time round is a bit like the EU referendum, in a sense, isn't it? A lot of crosses in the box and nothing much will happen.
At the end of that round, the points go to Angela, Hugh and Milton. Now we play a round called Mocky McMockface. This game involves Miles and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is travel. Miles.
Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with trains. It's the quiet coach, OK? Quiet, that is an adjective. It doesn't go far enough. Quiet is an adjective. It should be called the silent coach. Shouldn't it? The silent coach. No one would have any trouble understanding that. It's the silent coach, right? You can't talk on it, you can't use your laptop, children can't travel on it, you can't eat crisps, and crucially, they, the train people, they wouldn't be allowed to make announcements. Because the sort of people that have the mentality to travel on the quiet coach, which is the correct mentality, are the sort of people who check where the train is going before they bloody get on it. For years, we've just not got these things right. Mock the weak audience, you're exactly the sort of people that know what I'm talking about. In Russia, during the revolution, right? During the Russian Revolution, the Russian army was able to travel to all of its battles by train. During a revolution, they were still able to rely on public transport. Imagine if we had a revolution now and the army had to rely on transport, we'd be buggered, wouldn't we? Certainly those of us who wanted the army to win. Absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? Marston Moor 2016 kicked off, the British Army turning up 7 hours late to every single conflict. Oh, sorry, there were leaves on the line at Stevenage. There was a passenger action at Crewe. We were going to be joined by the SAS, but they've been stuck on a rail replacement bus service in Horrible.
Thank you very much, Miles. OK, now leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a Grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. Apparently all Chinese children who are learning to play the piano know a tune called Knife and Fork. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. Fernando's. When I was at school and it rained, we used to have to stay in for wet play. And when it was cold, we used to have to stay in and listen to this really dull band. AD 79. Julius Caesar receives the first ever weather forecast. Hail Caesar.
Thank you very much. Points there go to Milton Jones. Come on. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Angela, which category would you like?
I will have science, please, Dara.
Excellent. Science it is. The answer is 186 days. What is the question?
Is it how long you have to work before you qualify for a loo break at Sports Direct?
Is it if Donald Trump becomes president, how long has the Earth got left?
What is the guaranteed time to a perfect beach bod with the Miles Jupp gin and cured meat diet?
Just in time for Christmas, then.
We holiday abroad.
Is it... How many days are there in the North Korean month of Kimtober?
Is it how long we'll have to queue for a loaf of bread if we leave the EU?
Is it how long should it take to get to an inconvenience store?
it how much of his life can Charlie Sheen remember?
Is it, if you want to have a dinner party to remember, how long should you leave out the prawns?
Is it, what would the film 127 Hours have been called if it had been his penis that was trapped?
No, I'll give it a few more weeks and then decide. Surely somebody will come past.
See, how long would it take to tumble dry a circus tent?
How long does it take Craig David to comprehensively seduce 26.6 women?
Did you say that? You have been comprehensively seduced.
Mars, how would you comprehensively seduce someone? What would
Look, you know when it's over, Rob.
What is the actual answer, please?
Is it how long was Tim Peake in space?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ed Byrne. Well done, very good. Yes, and the question I was looking for is how long was Major Tim Peake on the International Space Station before he returned to Earth this week? Yes, there he's in a deck chair, not doing a tap.
But the only reason he come back was because the Russian bloke on the space station stuck up behind him and hit him on the end of a bar stool.
I watched the news report about it, but I'm hard of hearing, so I used the subtitles, and it genuinely said that he was up in space for 6 months without gravy, and it took me ages to realise they meant gravity. To be fair, he was without both, and I couldn't do it, you know.
I mean, there's that anti-gravy machine they have. Sorry,
I just realised there's a fucking box under my... No wonder I've got no space. Look at this.
What is it?
Just found that. The old sharpening gun. It's a bit tight down here, isn't it?
What artefacts have you discovered?
I don't know. And I've dropped my drink. This is an absolute nightmare. I've done the carpet, I'm afraid.
He set a lot of records while he was in space, didn't he, Tim Peake?
He did.
But it was kind of like, once he got into space, that was the hard part, and then just everything he did, he was the first person to do it in space. It was just like, he was the first person to get on the New Year's Honours list in space. He was the first person to do a marathon in space. It's just, once you get into space, that's you. It's like, if I got into space, I could set records for first man to clean his glasses on his underpants. In space, you know.
He did run a marathon up there, didn't he? And I thought I'd run a marathon if I had an option to float bits of it.
Just set the treadmill on really fast. I'll just hover above it.
I haven't hit the wall yet. When's the wall coming?
Let's go, Bill. This is so difficult. I've done 4 miles already.
He did the marathon. He didn't do any football because they wouldn't have got past the coin toss.
What did he do up there?
He did experiments up there.
He basically did media. Oh, he didn't have the time to do experiments.
Media. He did 6 months of experiments.
What experiments did he do?
250 different experiments of different things in zero gravity, yeah.
Rob, he's a decent guy. Just...
Don't you think the Americans are watching it, though? I mean, it's incredibly, you know, we're excited, but the Americans must be watching it going, you are literally 40 years behind us.
There were Americans as well, you know, on this. That's all the Americans are doing as well.
Are you going to shut down every comical notion we bring to you now? Yes, but he's in space, leave him alone.
Respect the spaceman.
I love science, and everything's OK, because it's science. I think John said about astronauts, just because he's gone up there and done experiments, I don't know exactly what they are, I've just been told.
You think he's bluffing that? That actually...
He's on a blank, mate. He's been up there.
The slightly sad thing about it, he's the first British astronaut, but he is representing the European Space Agency, isn't it? So if there is Brexit, the next British astronaut is going to be in a hot air balloon on a very long...
I think he deserves all the honours he's getting, because it is a dangerous mission to get that much closer to the sun when you're that ginger.
It was sort of ridiculous that when the guy from the European Space Agency said, well, you know, how will he feel? He said, well, I think he's going to be a bit shocked by gravity. You think he's got a very short memory, isn't he?
He's been up there 6 months, like, with no atmosphere, so to ease him back in, they've taken him to the new Top Gear studio. Oh, take that, Chris Evans.
first comment when it came out was that the earth smelt really strongly of earth, and everybody sort of shuffled uncomfortably and went, that's just Kazakhstan.
I like the way he said, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my wife and having my first shower for 6 months. Like, other way round, mate. That's it. Unless she likes him a bit gamey. So how the other way round?
So how do they wash in space?
They get a cloth. They wash
Just
with a
with
cloth.
With a cloth,
yeah.
So dirty bastard.
Yes, sir.
So would you like to go in space?
Yeah, no, it's really... I found... Oh, hello. Jesus Christ. What are the fucking flies?
Oh, Tim Peake's not here, is he? Smelly bastard Tim Peake's not turned up with us.
Are you certain, Dara, that no part of you is dying?
Flies attracted to corpses, you're correct, but they don't attract to the dying. Flies don't follow old people. Flies don't follow old people around as an omen. Oh, hello, Mrs. Jenkinson and 13B. The flies have gathered. They're not vultures. They don't hover waiting for you to breathe your last.
Where do you piss as well in space?
In space, there's a funnel. There's a funnel with a vacuum in it.
Oh, quality of asphalt. Nice, isn't it? Oh, man. I need to go to the toilet again. He's drinking a lot.
I imagine...
Is Elvis your cum face? Is
Just to talk about something slightly cleaner, do you suppose the novelty of pooing in a bag ever wears off?
Just to get it in the back. I think it's just floating about.
Well, you could catch it, I suppose, like a butterfly net. All right, do you know what? I'll go up and get a few of them when there's more collected.
At the end of the prize, got Angela, Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a kids' TV show.
Thunderbirds are go! Is what I shout at orgasm.
No, Lala, I'm afraid you're not Teletubby, you're Teleobese, and if you're not careful, you'll get telediabetes.
Don't ask your parents' permission before you phone. Those dicks will only say no.
And on today's Horrible Histories, a 1970s episode of Top of the Pops.
Right, young Womble, today we're going to destroy the Wimbledon Tennis Championships and get rid of all this dog poo from the common. Get yourself a golf club.
Well, if you're not having an affair, whose square pants are these?
Well, things are hotting up in Balamory. Archie's been radicalised.
Well, Miss Hooley, I'm wondering if I'm going to be regretting this job in 14 years.
Mr. Tumble, you're 43. Grow up, for fuck's sake.
Johnny's dad said, do Eurovision. So Johnny left school and entered the Eurovision Song Contest.
Daddy Bear said, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And Mummy Bear said, it was probably your whore, Linda.
Just 3 more blobs of glue, and that's a massive cock and balls there.
And the janitor would have got away with it, too, if it hadn't been for the photographs he'd taken of those pesky kids.
Yodel delivery driver Pat. Yodel delivery driver Pat. He's thrown your parcel in a hedge.
And now it's time for our resident band of children violinists. Please welcome the Kitty Fiddlers.
And now, Peppa Pig is a recipe on Saturday Kitchen.
Let's see what's happening over at the Magic Roundabout. Yep, more dogging.
And just remember, your Blue Peter badge can get you in free at over 200 strip clubs and lap dancing establishments.
Look, Giggle Piggle, it's the Ninky Nonk. Oh, the Olivier said my Hamlet made him weep like a little girl.
OK, the next topic is unlikely to hear at the Euro 2016.
Wayne Rooney's come out covered in Formica. I think the managers told them to play as a unit.
Rooney is playing in the pocket. Oh, that's unpleasant.
And England go through on penalties.
And the French mascot is 7-year-old Lucien Dubois from Nice, showing us all how to smoke a cigarette with real panache there.
Oh, that is an absolutely shocking decision by the referee. Black shorts, black shirt. I'm sure the girls will agree with me. Way too matchy-matchy.
Let's not forget that Roy Keane and Martin Skirtle were club mates at Real Sociopath.
Oh, that is an absolute beauty. Swedish, about 25. Well done, Dirty Dave, on camera 5.
The England front three are trying to get in behind, but the Wags are having none of it.
And the crowd invade the pitch and the French officials have surrendered.
Oh, did that cross the line? Seemed a bit racist to me.
Well, next for us, it's Iceland-Turkey, and when that's defrosted, it's England-Slovakia.
And Russia have gone for a 4-3-3-7-8-10-1-9-16 formation. We're never going to get out of this alley.
Well, let's look at the stats in the first half. I was responsible for 90% of the cliches, and that really is the icing on the cake.
And the Swedes are out. He really should have worn tighter shorts.
So who's up for the World Cup in Russia? Guys?
There goes Ronaldo down the wing, doing what he did a minute ago, and he's slightly slower. This is the replays now. Yeah.
Say, cometh the hour, cometh the man, and I have. I'm just off to get some more pants.
At the end of that round, the boys go to Rod, Ed and Miles. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Miles, Jupp, Ed, Byrne and Rob Beckett. Commiserations to Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara, Briain. Good night.